Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to explore how to use a Cisco switch so you can get familiar with its interface and commands. We'll answer key questions like how many fast Ethernet and gigabit interfaces a switch has, the range of BTY lines for Telnet and SSH connections, the command to view the current contents of NVRAM, why a switch might display the message start of config is not present, understanding these basics is essential for cybersecurity, as switches play a critical role in network security and troubleshooting. I will walk you through the process step by step so you can build confidence in working with Cisco switches. To start off this video, we want to figure out how many fast Ethernet interfaces does the switch have. But in order to find out that information, we will need to create a little simple network using Cisco Packet Tracer. For this lab, we'll try to add a switch, a laptop, a PC, and a printer. Let's try to grab all these items and drag it to our network. Let's start with the switch. We'll go into network devices, choose switches. We will select the 2960 switch and place it in our network area. Right here should be fine. And we can rename it as one. Now let's now let's try to choose a computer. We'll go to end devices and choose a PC. And we're gonna do the same thing. Let's just put it somewhere over here in our network area. For the next step, let's try to grab a laptop and it should be right here. And let's put it here and we can rename it laptop number one. Finally, the last device we need is a printer. Let's try to choose a printer and put it right here and we can rename it to printer number one. The last thing left for us to do is connect all the devices to the switch using a copper straight through cable. Let's click on a connection, this light bolt over here, choose a copper straight through cable and click on S1. Let's choose Fast Ethernet 01 and click on PC1, choose Fast Ethernet 0. Let's do the same thing. We can see that the connection is being established. Let's try to do the same thing with the laptop. We'll choose the cable, click on S1, and we can see that the Fast Ethernet 01 is no longer available because it's being used to connect PC1. Let's choose Fast Ethernet 02 and choose Fast Ethernet 0 on the laptop. Finally, let's connect the printer the same way. Choose the cable, click on the switch, and choose Fast Ethernet. Let's, let's click on 03 and choose Fast Ethernet 0. We see that all the connections have been established and they are active. Next, let's enter privilege mode. We'll click on S1, which is the switch, select the CLI tab, press enter, and type enable or EN to enter the privilege exec mode. It's important to note that the prompt changes to reflect the exec mode. Now let's enter show running config command. We need to press the spacebar to print the rest of the lines of the command. The privilege exec command set includes both commands from the user exec mode and the configure command that allows access to the remaining commands mode. When we ask how many fast Ethernet interfaces does the switch have, we're really asking how many ports does it have for connecting devices. Each fast Ethernet port is where you plugged in computers, routers, or network devices using a cable. And this is basically what we did in this lab. Now that we have a network made up of a switch, a PC, and a laptop and a printer, we want to know how many gigabit internet interfaces does the switch have. And this right here, what we're really asking is how many ports on the switch can handle speeds of 1 gigabits, which is 1000 Mbps. In other words, these gigabit internet ports are used to connect computers, routers, or other switches with faster and more reliable network connections compared to the fast Ethernet, which is only 100 Mbps. It's important to note that the number of gigabit ports depends on the switch model because some switches have only a few, while others have many for high speed networking. And pretty much we're gonna do the same thing here. We're gonna go on to the switch and go to the CLI tab. We'll try to enter the privilege mode by enter the EN command. Now let's run the command show running config to see all the switch running configurations. We'll press the spacebar to scroll down the output. We'll scroll back a little to see, and voila. This right here, we're able to check the information we were looking for. For this next part, we'll try to answer the question, what is the range of values shown for the BTY lines? In case you don't know, BTY or virtual telepie lines are like virtual doors that let you remotely access a network, switch, or router using Telnet or SSH. Think of them as remote control ports that let you log in from another computer to manage the device. Since Telnet is not secure, SSH is the better option because it encrypts your login and also the commands you're using, keeping everything safe from hackers. So, in simple terms, BTY lines allow you to connect and control a switch or router remotely using SSH alternate. Now, first, let's open the switch and go to the CLI. Now, let's enter privilege mode by typing EN command. Now, let's run the command show running config to see all the switch running configurations. Let's press the spacebar to scroll down the output. We see that it says BTY04 and underneath it, it says BTY515. So we can understand from this that the range is 0 through 4 and 5 through 15. So the whole range is 0 through 15. Moving on in this lab, we want to answer the question, which command will display the current contents of non-volatile random access memory, or to keep it simple, NVRAM? Just to give you a simple explanation of what this really means. So, in simple terms, NVRAM, non-volatile RAM, it is a type of memory that keeps data even when the power is off, unlike regular RAM, which clears everything when the device shuts down. Think of it like a built-in USB drive inside a router or switch. It saves important settings so they don't disappear after a restart. And well, basically NVRAM stores a device startup settings like a tiny hard drive for configurations. In order to check this, we need to open the switch and go to the CLI tab. Next, let's enter privilege mode by typing EN command. Let's start by typing show and STA and pressing tab to see what the command is completed to. We see that it's spelled out to show startup config. And this is basically how we check it. Finally, I know you guys are wondering, how does the present switch respond if a startup config is not present? Well, for this, I'm gonna show you how it really looks like and what it means. First, let's open the switch and go to the CLI tab. Next, let's enter privilege mode by typing the EN command. Now, let's type the command show startup config. We see that we get the response the startup config is not present. It displays the message because the configuration file was not saved to the NVRAM. Currently, it is only located in RAM. When you see this message, a startup configuration is not present, what it really means is that the switch doesn't have configuration file in the NVRAM. Basically, this happens because the settings were never saved or someone erased them and the switch is basically saying, hey, I don't have any instructions on how to start up. Since the NVRAM stores the startup configuration, if there is something that was never saved there, the switch boots up with the default settings and goes into the setup mode, asking you to configure it again from scratch.